Try it right now. Run your own fingers along your own ribs, the exact spot where someone else could reduce you to helpless laughter in seconds. Press into the side of your neck. Drag your nails along the bottom of your own foot. Nothing. You feel the touch, you feel the pressure, but the spark never comes. The squirm, the gasp, the laugh that tears out of you when someone else does the very same thing is simply gone, and the real answer to why is far stranger than a quirk of skin. The reason you cannot tickle yourself is that your brain saw it coming. Think about that for a moment. Somewhere behind your eyes, a prediction machine is running every second of your life, and it is so fast and so quiet that you have never once caught it working. It knew your hand was moving toward your ribs before your hand arrived. It knew exactly where you would press and how hard. And because it knew, it cancelled the feeling before you could feel it. Why would a brain do that? To understand the answer, you have to start with a problem your brain solves millions of times a day without ever telling you. Your senses are flooded. At this instant, your skin is reporting the weight of your clothes, the pressure of the chair, the temperature of the room. Your ears are catching sounds you are not listening to. If your brain treated all of it as important, you would drown in your own sensations within a minute. So your brain learned a trick. It ignores almost everything you cause yourself. The technical name for this is sensory attenuation. Attenuation just means turning something down, like lowering a volume knob. Your brain turns down the volume on any sensation that comes from your own actions, so it can keep the volume up on everything else. The touch of your own shirt fades into nothing. The sound of your own footsteps disappears under the sounds around you. You are filtering yourself out all day so the world can come through clearly. A neuroscientist named Sarah-Jayne Blakemore wanted to see this filter in action, so she built a tickling machine. In her studies at University College London, she had people use a small lever to control a soft foam tip that stroked the palm of their own hand. When they moved the lever themselves, the touch felt faint and unremarkable. Then she added a delay, just a fraction of a second, between the moment they moved the lever and the moment the foam touched them, and something remarkable happened. The longer the delay, the more ticklish it felt. The same person, the same hand, the same soft foam. The only thing that changed was the gap between the action and the feeling. What does a delay have to do with tickling? The answer points straight at the prediction machine. When you move your own hand, your brain does not just send the command to your muscles. It also fires off a copy of that command, a kind of internal memo, to the parts of your brain that handle sensation. Scientists call this copy an efference copy. The word sounds complicated. The idea is simple. Your brain sends itself a heads-up that says, here is exactly what is about to happen, and here is what it should feel like. When the real sensation arrives and matches the prediction, your brain shrugs. Predicted, boring, turn it down, but Blakemore's delay broke the match. The prediction said now, and the touch arrived a beat late. The forecast was wrong. And the moment your brain's forecast is wrong, the volume knob jumps back up, and a faint stroke becomes a tickle. So a tickle is not really about your skin at all. A tickle is what surprise feels like on the surface of your body. This is why a stranger can tickle you and you cannot tickle yourself. You can never surprise yourself because you are always the one holding the plan. Now sit with how deep this goes. That same prediction machine is not only cancelling tickles, it is quietly running underneath everything you do. When you reach for a cup, your brain has already predicted the weight of it, and that is why you are jolted when the cup turns out to be empty and nearly flings it over your shoulder. When you walk, your brain predicts the floor, and a single stair that is half an inch shorter than the rest can send your whole body lurching. You did not trip on the stair, you tripped on a wrong prediction. Your brain is not really experiencing the world. It is guessing at the world constantly and then checking its guesses against what comes in. Most of the time, the guesses are so good that you mistake them for reality itself. Researchers have a name for this view of the mind. They call it predictive processing. The idea, developed by thinkers like Carl Friston and Andy Clark, flips the old picture of the brain completely. The old picture said your senses send information up to your brain, and your brain builds a picture from it. The new picture says your brain sends predictions down to your senses first, and your senses only report back the difference between what was predicted and what actually happened. You are not a camera taking in the world. You are a forecaster, and you only ever notice your own mistakes. Does that change how you think about what you are seeing right now? Here is where it turns unsettling. If your sense of touch is built on prediction, and your prediction depends on knowing which actions are yours, then your brain has to keep a constant, silent answer to one enormous question. Which movements in the world belong to me? Most of the time that answer is obvious and effortless, but it is not guaranteed. It is a calculation, and calculations can break. This is where the same scientist who built the tickling machine made her most haunting discovery. Sarah-Jayne Blakemore noticed that some people can tickle themselves. People living with certain symptoms of schizophrenia, particularly the experience of feeling that their own movements are being controlled by someone else, were able to do the one thing the rest of us cannot. When the prediction machine that labels actions as self-caused starts to misfire, the filter fails. Your own hand stops feeling like yours, and the touch you produce yourself arrives as a surprise, exactly as if a stranger had reached out in the dark. Think about what that means. The reason you feel like a single unified person, the author of your own movements, is partly this quiet prediction running in the background, stamping every action with a label that says, "This one is mine." You never see the stamp. You only feel its absence. On the rare occasions it slips. So the inability to tickle yourself is not a small joke your body plays. It is a tiny window into the machinery that builds your entire sense of being you. And it shows up everywhere once you know to look. It is why your own voice sounds wrong on a recording, thinner and higher than the voice in your head, because the version you normally hear was predicted and shaped from the inside, and the recording is the raw, unpredicted truth. It is why you can read your own typo 100 times and never see it, because your brain shows you the word it predicted, not the letters that are actually there. It is why an itch you cannot quite reach is maddening, and the same itch scratched by someone else is a small mercy. It is why a surprise hug from behind makes you jump, even from someone you love, even when part of you knew they were in the room. In every one of those moments, the same machine is running. Predict, compare, turn down what was expected, turn up what was not. You spend your whole life inside this filter, mistaking your brain's confident forecast for the plain texture of reality. You think you are touching the world directly. You are touching your own predictions about it, corrected only where they happen to be wrong. So try it one more time. Run your fingers along your own ribs. Still nothing, but now you know why the silence is there. It is not your skin refusing to feel. It is your brain, a step ahead of your own hand, whispering the future to itself a fraction of a second before it arrives, and quietly deciding that nothing it already knows is worth feeling. The one touch you can never be surprised by is your own. And surprise, it turns out, was the whole point of feeling anything at all.